Hey everyone, it's Majorie here from the Punk Priestess, and we are going to be unboxing 2 decks today. And I am just so overjoyed and extremely excited about these decks. So this is called the Sion Tarot, and this is the Sion Sigil deck. So these decks are included together. And I honestly, I do not say this very often, but this is the best deck that I have bought in probably the past, I don't even know. This is probably the best deck I bought in the past at least 5 years at most. I am just so impressed. And the colors, the design, the quality, you're going to see it all, are just chef's kiss. It's just phenomenal. Like when I was opening up this deck the other day and looking at the cards for the first time, I was just getting giddy. I'm like, oh my God, this is just why I fell in love with tarot in the first place and why I decided to be a tarot reader. Like this deck has kind of like cemented that for me. And I'm so excited to open this box with you. This is by Luciana Peña. Sorry if I'm not saying that properly, but that is the artist and the creator of this deck and of the Sigil Tarot, or the Sigil deck as well. And this is just such a treat to have this deck in my hands, and I think you're going to be so inspired to buy this deck as well. So let's kind of get into it. So we're just going to open them in tandem. I've never really done like 2 unboxing decks at a time, but we're going to start first with just the boxes, and then we're going to go more into like the quality and the cards. So we're going to start with the Sion Tarot. Love the color. Like if you know me, I'm like a purple girly. That's like one of my favorite colors. Like everything's like purple in my life. So I love the purple color. We have my favorite card, the High Priestess. And then in the back here, we have just a couple illustrations of the cards in the deck and a little description. Also, if I was ever to make a tarot deck or oracle deck, and that's like definitely a plan in the future for me, that's like on one of my like bucket list things to do in life, I would do a box exactly like this. This is the best box I've ever had for a tarot deck. And look at it. Whoop! Just completely, just so easily just comes off. And like, I'm so over the complicated, we gotta like, you know, do the traditional like flap and, you know, the thin like cardstock for the packaging. Like this is some like nice quality protection of like a box. And then we have these cute like little motifs around it, and it's just, the colors pop. I love it. I love like color, and as a designer in my past life, it just really makes me feel like giddy when we have good aesthetics. So we're going to open it up here. Slides right out nice and easy. Love this box. That's one of my like favorite features. But it's the little things. It's the little things. After you've been reading tarot for so long and collecting decks for so long, it's the little things. Here's the guidebook. Again, like super cute. This is the back, which I love this design. Artisan Tarot, they're the ones who I guess like publish this deck, or where you can buy it. But yeah, just, you know, perfect. Like great quality. We have like a little image of like each of the cards, what they mean, little description, and everything's like in color too. And that's another thing you don't really see with guidebooks. You don't see color in the guidebook. So I thought that was a great little feature. But I love too how all the cards just have every description of the cards just have like a little motif that's included in the card. So I love that. And then there's a couple like little spreads that you can do. And this is cool, like a little conclusion. So I really loved just the way that this guidebook has been designed. Like one of the best guidebooks I've come across in a long time. So like the details are perfect. Now we're just going to look at the back of the card here, and this is what it looks like. So it's like it's kind of like the 3 of Swords, but it's the 3 of Wands here, or like we have like these witch's broom. So I think that's an interesting like touch, an interesting detail, and a way of kind of mixing the imagery of like the Rider-Waite-Smith. You usually have 3 swords, but we're doing wands instead. So that's kind of a cool meaning. But we'll look at the cards individually in a moment. right, so we looked at all the cards in the deck. So now it's time to do our shuffle test with the Sion Tarot. Crisp. Love it. Perfect shuffle here. It's just really easy to slide in your hands too, and like I said, I love the quality of the cardstock, and like the matte finish is great. But yeah, let's just kind of look at some of the cards too, like a little up close, liberation. Some of these are oracle cards mixed in with tarot. We have our Two of Cups. I also like that it's just, some of them do have words, like here's our Chariot, but it's called movement. But I also really do like that the Roman numerals are above it as well, especially, here's Warrior of Swords. So especially for the suits. So, we have here our Nine of Cups, and we have our Ten of Cups. Kind of see some others. Here's our Star. This is one of my favorites. This would be like a super cool like printer tattoo. Let's see, a couple more, and then we'll kind of move on to the sigil. We have the Warrior of Wands. So I love this. Another thing as well is that most of the cards are all like female. I think the Emperor I saw was male, but the majority of all of them are women. So I think that's pretty empowering. The High Priestess, just so sick, so cool. Let's look at some of the sigil cards. We have the Foundation here. I don't know all the tarot correspondences yet, but that's something I'm definitely going to start studying. We have Wonder, Discovery. I think there's a couple little hints with the motifs too. This is Perception. I really love this. So this is Solitude. So this is the Sion Tarot and the Sion Sigils. These are the decks that I'm so excited to start using for my clients in my practice, and this is just such a phenomenal deck to own. And like I said, this is probably the best deck I've ever bought for myself within the past 5 years that I've seen. And it's just beautiful, the combination of like a little bit of Rider-Waite-Smith, and then just more modern like colors and like in unique ways of portraying the archetypes. And I just love that a deck can really help push your practice to the next level and give you a new insight into divination and tarot, and even sigil magic like we have here with the sigil deck. So yes, get these decks. Everything's going to be linked, and I appreciate you checking out this video, and I hope that you purchase this deck and use it in your practice as well. Thank you. So let's kind of move on to the Sion Sigil deck. And what's also included, before I forget, is this like cute little like postcard. You can like write in back of it if you want, but I'm gonna just probably put this on my fridge or on my altar. But we have Temperance here, so very beautiful. I just love this little extra detail. So we have the Sion Sigil deck. Love the colors as well. I mean, just the vibe just goes so well, so complimentary. So we have the sigil up in the front, and then the back, another few images of the cards here, and some cute little motifs on the side. So this is kind of some of the, it's interesting because it's like the sigil deck mixed in with the tarot deck. So I love that. And then we have the little, Three of Wands heart imagery. Again, the box is the same thing. Just slide off the top. Love it. More cute little designs too. And take this out. So we have here the guidebook. So pretty similar, same quality as the tarot guidebook. And then the back is actually super cool. I love this. This is so cool. I definitely would love to in the future, if there's prints available, I would just get a bunch of these prints and frame them in my office. But the sigil imagery, again, color, little details. This is interesting because each sigil relates to a tarot card. And that's really interesting. I've never seen that before. So I'm really curious. Like we have direction, and then this is for the Chariot. So I'm loving this. I was honestly a little unsure about how this sigil deck was going to be, because I do work with sigils not super heavily in my practice. And then when they were kind of like included together, I was like, okay, this is interesting, but now I know why. And I'm like really obsessed with this. Yeah, I'm just like Serenity, and then we have like this High Priestess sigil. This has honestly like really inspired me looking at this, and has really kind of transformed the way I've thought about sigils. I never thought about comparing sigils to tarot. It's just never been a thought that I've occurred in my mind. I usually will do sigils for like protection magic, or something with spell work, or like manifestation. That's how I've always used sigils and how I feel like they're primarily used. I never really thought to connect them to tarot, and I'm kind of mind blown. I'm honestly like mind blown and so inspired. So thank you, Luciana, for like kind of giving me a whole like glimpse on like esoteric like discovery in life. So this is great. And then we have some reading examples. So this is really cool. I'm going to be definitely spending a lot of time with this guidebook, because this is such a new method. We have this here. So just a little breakdown. I love this. Everything just seems like really easy to understand and like work with, and accessible. So, and that's the way, tarot should be. And I feel that sigil work has been kind of more complicated for, people, and maybe not as accessible as, divination or, cartomancy and other forms. But this connection really makes sense to me, and it's phenomenal. We also, too, have, similar imagery. It's the same. It's just like the colors are different. So not too much of a change there. But we're going to, I'm going to shuffle this and just kind of look at the quality. We'll do our bridge with this here, if I can. So a couple cards. Very, very easy. Like the cardstock is perfect. There's just so many notes, like mental notes I'm taking when I look at this deck. I'm like, okay, this is how I would want the cardstock. This is how I would want the box. Like this has really inspired me for in the future when I create like an oracle deck of my own one day, which I've already kind of worked on a little bit of a process, but that's kind of like years out. But the quality is, and I'm so over the glossiness. Like I don't want any glossy cards anymore. Like give me like a matte. Let's like continue to bring matte for cards. Just, the colors, but this is perfect weight. The weight is perfect. The quality is perfect. It shuffles really well. It has like good flexibility and durability. Chef's kiss on the details there. So that is a little bit of the details of the box and the cards and the guidebook. So we're going to take a gander at all the cards in the Sion Tarot and the Sion Sigil deck.